grew up, my formative teenage years were in Indiana, south of here, north of Indianapolis. I made a visit to Purdue, and I just felt like this place was right for me. It sort of embodied all the feels I was looking for. The arc of my undergraduate career was interesting. I actually did fine in freshman engineering, but I actually struggled my sophomore year and really got into the meat of engineering courses and some of the basic ME and EE courses, and really had a couple semesters where I had to ask myself some hard questions about whether this is what I wanted to do or not. And I had this idea. Well, it was really driven by two things. Number one, I very much loved audio video technology, especially audio technology as a teenager. And I figured out that much of where that happened at Purdue was in the physics school. And so when I looked at interdisciplinary engineering and looked at engineering management or engineering physics, I saw that I could craft a program for myself, which had I not been able to, I don't think I would have stayed in engineering. I probably would have gone into industrial management or something like that. But what I found was that having a technical degree from Purdue, but yet wanting to be on sort of the customer facing side of business was both a unusual and highly attractive profile to all the employers about then. So there were all the classic engineers that wanted to do EE or computer science or ME, and they got great jobs at great companies doing those things. But I really wanted to go talk to customers. I wanted to sell things. I wanted to understand things. And so if you talk to the employers about that time, they loved this degree. They loved somebody who could live in a technical world but speak in commercial terms. So I went to work for Hewlett Packard in Palo Alto, California. And so my interdisciplinary engineering degree really allowed me to walk in and understand the customer's technology, whether it was a biotech application for molecular biology or a lithography application in semiconductor production, or one of my customers was NASA Ames. They were doing wind tunnel testing and data acquisition. I knew enough about that to be credible. And so I was a proper operating executive for a handful of companies between 23 years old when I got out of school and sort of 40 years old. I was a VP of engineering and a VP of marketing and a sales executive. And then I became a general manager of a tech company. And then I became a CEO 3 times. I was lucky enough to leave Purdue and be dropped into Silicon Valley at the literally ground zero of the technical movement. I mean, the IBM PC shipped in 1983. That's the year I went to work. And so it was like being Michelangelo in the Renaissance in Florence, right? I mean, it was hard to screw this up. I massively underestimated the credential of a Purdue engineering degree. I had no idea. I grew up in Indiana. I was on the East Coast before that. I had been around, but not really in the technology circles. And when I arrived in California with a Purdue engineering degree, it was a head-turning moment. It was regarded with every other degree that you could imagine being of that caliber, from MIT to Georgia Tech to Stanford. I mean, there was no difference in Silicon Valley between a Stanford engineer, an MIT engineer, and a Purdue engineer. So I was both shocked and gratified by that. And it was something to be really proud of really easily. And, when you run around Indiana and you say you went to Purdue, it's like, yeah, you went to Purdue. But you take that degree anywhere else, and it's a passport.